very straight into Picado could get very busy very soon.
And if I'm not wrong, Mineski Legend just got a crate.
Mineski Legend. Let's have a quick look and see. That's Mineski. What's he got? He's got himself
a ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit, but I don't know. I don't see any weapon here that looks like it's from the drop. So let's see if maybe another member of Mineski took it, or no, I don't see any other weapons here that come from a drop. So we'll have to wait and see if anyone's picked that up. But speaking of that main artery down into Picado, we have Zenetics. Zenetics, you see nobody actually taking shots towards Cass, and that's going to be Cass having to flank around away from it. So the proximity of that fight towards Picado is going to let Aerowolf know that there are potentially people coming in as they try and arrange some kind of loot, make sure that everyone has what they need for this potential fight that could be coming in. As Picado slowly loads in and shows us its buildings. So
looking at the map, I think Vikings are in a really good position, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have the shortest transition to the next circle. They are going to have to basically... one second, just lower this down a bit. They're going to have to basically push into whatever location the next circle shows. They're going to have the shortest distance to it, unless it's you know, super far up to the north here or something like that, but it's unlikely. So Zenetics and Cass are actually very close to each other. There are some shots fired in both directions. Remember, this is first-person perspective, so you aren't going to be able to play a similar style that we saw in the first game. You're not going to be able to peek over the top. You're not going to be able to get information without exposing yourself. So we'll have to see how that changes up everyone's playstyle. What do you prefer, first-person perspective or third-person perspective?
I would say first-person perspective, and just because you know you don't have to wonder what your enemy can see and what you can't see. Because now what you can see, your enemy can see, and what your enemy can see, you can see.
Yeah, I think there's a big divide within the community in terms of the competitive side. When it comes to the East and the West loves to play first-person perspective, the East loves to play third-person perspective. I think they both have their merits in terms of each community. I personally prefer first-person perspective for the same reasons you mentioned there. And we can see that Zenetics, they're not going to be going towards Picado. They know that most likely there's going to be some team there. They're going to avoid that fight and instead flank around to the north of it to try and potentially find a better location. So anyway, we have the blue slowly creeping in. It is moving very slowly and it will be doing very minimal damage. So we can expect a lot of teams to either ride the edge of the green circle, or in this case, or the blue circle normally, and ultimately push in from that east once they really have to and the circle closes itself. Another drop coming in. This is TNC Casio. I think TNC Casio, he may be going for this drop. Maybe they saw it coming down. Yes, they did. Let's see what he's going to find in the drop. He's got himself a Groza and a level 3 helmet, a level 3 vest as well. So great for any close range engagements that might occur in these towns.
And gives him a free headshot.
Yeah, an extra life. Yeah. Yes. And that's the recent changes to the game. The level 3 helmet now only actually lands or spawns inside of a crate, so you will need to ultimately go to a drop to get that extra life rather than getting lucky and finding it. Here we have, this is Tamashi and friends Patui. He did very well to survive solo last game, ultimately managing to place, I believe, in the top 10. He's going for this drop here. The drop is isolated on its own, but again, what we've got, a level 3 helmet, as mentioned previously, and the M249 and an 8x scope. So on a map like Miramar, that 8x scope is so powerful given the openness of the map. So a good pickup for sure there. Oh, this could get interesting though, as Malign Raw with 3 full members are driving directly past KAS. KAS, are they looking for an angle to engage here? I believe they are. There's KAS, puts the bullets into them. Malign Raw trying to make it away, and it looks like not going to be able to capitalize on that scenario. Malign Raw playing it very risky there. Ultimately,
they need to get out. Yeah, it's going to blow up.
Yeah, they have to get away, and they are going to survive. They are going to leave that vehicle to the side. So KAS, their position has been given away. Malign Raw knows that they might get pushed in. Team Shield, though, out here looking for a vehicle, I feel like they've managed to find one, but they're going to be very delayed. They're going to have to either go over this open field or go down towards here. So Team Shield not in a good spot in terms of positioning, but they will be able to survive until later on.
Inside the north.
Ooh, so a hard shift right there, and as we mentioned, Vikings in a great spot to move quickly. They could look to take this compound here. Any number of one of these middle compounds could be beautiful, and we saw in the previous game, Vikings, they do a very good job of taking control of a central location very early when the circle shifts, and we can already see they're moving.
Yeah. You wanna move now so that you don't like get any contact by other teams.
Yeah, and as we see here, we have Cass. These guys were the shots. This was the team that took shots towards Merlion Roll. They've split up into multiple vehicles. They're trying to move early, and they're trying to move with impetus. They want to get towards the center area again. They saw how well it worked for Vikings, and especially in a first-person perspective map, that center position is even more valuable. So, who do we have up towards the north? Mineski, they've been playing a very northerly trajectory in all their games. Staying split, multiple vehicles again, it's a very common theme. And it looks like Jex, these guys, they have done a similar route for both maps, or both versions of Miramar, third-person perspective, first-person perspective. They've basically started up in the north, flanked around to the west, and then made their way south towards the northern side of the next circle. So, familiar territory for them. So let's have a quick look and see Cass. These were the guys that started off originally split. They've now regrouped, and I feel like that strategy worked very well for them. We have 15 teams alive, 52 players in the game, and a lot of time for these guys to basically decide where they're going to go and commit to it. Vikings, I feel like, in the best spot for this next circle, no matter where it goes. Because if we just take a quick look at the terrain surrounding this area, they have multiple ways to get away from these two compounds that they've taken, and they're doing a great job of making sure they're playing in duos. They're effectively, they basically have teammates to back each other up should one person get knocked out. And
Nemo now going north.
Yeah, they are pushing towards. Yeah, they're pushing towards Power Grid, and Zenetics is already here. So this could get interesting, depending upon whether Zenetics can hear these vehicles, and I think they will. Aerowolf pushing in from the south. Zenetics already here. Let's see how this one plays out as Fantasy is going towards where he heard those.
They're setting it up already.
Yeah, shots being fired. That's Vikings fighters. That's not this fight here, but that's Kentel losing a player or getting one knocked out already. Let's have a quick look and see. Revice taking shots, peeking angles as Zenetics are caught out in the open. Aerowolf getting a bit aggressive here, looking for an angle. Apologies for that misobserving. As Slasher trying to find an angle. You see nobody taking out Nemo. Sorry, taking out RDK, and that's RDK eliminated. So now 3v4 scenario here. Drevice peeking out the window and ultimately getting a knock on Fantasy. So now it's a 3v3. Zenetics pushing forward. I think they know that they're inside. Let's see if Slasher can find the flank here. Slasher does find the flank. Doesn't ultimately land the knock, and that's going to be Drevice taken out. So now 2v3 as frags go back and forth. Shots from behind. Slasher knows that the peak's there, and that's going to be a straight strafe into it. Now Zenetics, there's just one player left alive. Slasher holding the angle. That's what Dimension doesn't want to make any noise, and there's the res. Players within touching distance, just either side of the wall here. Zenetics may get a player back on their feet, turning it into a 2v3. As the res comes out, noise is being made. Who's going to push? That's going to give Ryota a chance to heal up, and now he's back on his feet. They are not next to each other, but here comes the push forward through. And there's Ryota tagged up super heavy, and there's the knocks, and now 3v1 scenario. Dimension on his own, being shot from behind, and that's going to be an absolute bloodbath. As we have Aerowolf winning that fight, able to survive with 3 members, and that is an absolutely amazing situation, considering the fact that Zenetics were already in the power grid.
Yeah, what do you think Zenetics should have done?
I think what happened in that scenario there is Zenetics played very aggressive. Even though they had a great position inside the power grid, let's have a quick look at what they were. They had basically had control of this area here. They heard vehicles rolling up, and instead of just playing from this area and allowing Aerowolf to think that no one was there, they ultimately crossed this gap. And by crossing this gap, they left themselves open. Slasher was on the flank here, got some good damage in, gave the ability for Drevice to peek out these windows, take some shots, turning it into a 2v4, 3v4 situation. And then ultimately, when Zenetics managed to take it into a 2v3 scenario, instead of playing as a duo, they started holding different angles and ultimately paid for it.
I'm going to guess Zenetics wanted to take back the... They didn't want Aerowolf to take this building.
Yeah, I think that's basically what must have been going through their head, but ultimately Aerowolf surviving with 3 members and making it into the next circle. So, speaking of next circle, 19 seconds till it closes in. We have a bit of a movement here from the Vikings. They've actually moved to another location, and it looks like Cass is going to be coming in hot, trying to take this compound from Vikings. Shots being fired by Lindo. And other members of Team Vikings already out, and that's going to be an absolute bloodbath as Vikings completely take out and decimate 2 members of CAS. So CAS now, only 2 members left. And there's actually 1 member left.
And that's why you don't want to be in a vehicle.
Yes. Especially crashing compounds this late in the game. It's a strategy that works when the circle's bigger, but when there's only so many compounds to fight for, you don't want to be driving straight at a building like that. But they have done at least the wise thing, which is to leave 1 member. If I was in their scenario, I would send the solo player first, and leave the 2 from behind and see if they can survive, but at least they're still in the game. So the circle is closing. Anyone out of the circle still? We have Jex. They're coming in on foot. 2 players remaining coming in from the north. They are going to be having to cross this open road though, but let's quickly have a look towards KLQ. These guys see Milan Raw coming in from the high ground. And remember, first person perspective, not going to be able to peek for free. If you want to take a shot, you've got to pay for it. As for gets tagged.
So this is this the 3X or the 6X?
This is the 6X he's working with on the Mini, and we just had a recent patch recently, so the Mini is actually a very good gun. We'll have to wait and see if we can get a pick here. This is an 8x Kar 98, so that is going to be a 1-shot headshot, anyone that they do see, but they do need to be careful though, because Malayan Raw is leaving themselves open from Sabatop. But speaking of fighting, you have Kentel trying to hold this angle, trying to lock down this compound. Kentel with 3 members inside this compound here, taking shots from Resurgence. This was the team that played very well, given the fact that they got very unlucky with the circle early on in the first game. They're taking another more defensive position towards the western side of the circle. Let's see if they get a bit lucky, but they do know that Kentel are inside here. They do know that that compound across the road is occupied, and I don't think they're going to be making any kind of play for it anytime soon if they don't have to.
But they might soon have to with this circle.
Yeah, we see Aeon. We mentioned previously, he is a sniper of Resurgence. He's got the Kar 98 in his hand. Unfortunately, he's only got a 2x scope. So it's not going to be what he wants. He does want a longer range scope, but looking at the next circle, they've got very lucky. But speaking about that flank from Malayan Raw losing a member already, Shark being taken out, Fang doing some great work with the suppressed Mini, and they want to make sure that Shark can't be rezzed. Fang peeking around here, good body tags there. Malayan Raw bleeding, but not out just yet. Shots going out towards the other members of Malayan Raw. I think smokes are going to have to be deployed here. You can see him priming that smoke, throwing it at his feet. Aira, what's he got to work with? They've got the red dot. They've only got red dots, so they can't take this long-range engagement. They're waiting for the smoke to bloom. It has bloomed, I assure you of that. They're now trying to get away.
Both teams have to either finish this fight and go into the circle, or
they
just run
fast. Nani, though, they're taking a very late engagement. This is not advisable. Yes, they may get some knocks here. Yes, they may get some kills here on Tamashi and friends, but they're going to be running with the circle, and it's not going to be moving that slowly. They're going to have to move in very soon. You see Nani on the high ground. Tamashi and friend trying to use that little defilade that comes with the territory inside Miramar to their advantage. And now Crips taking shots towards Paturi, and that's going to be Paturi taken out, and he's not going to be rezzed. Paturi going to have to load into the next lobby as Tamashi and friends try and hoof it away from Nani and make it to the next circle. They are out in the open. That's Kentel going to be closing down that gap. They're not going to allow them to get into the cover to survive pushing into the circle, and I don't see any way that Tamashi and friends are going to make it in here, especially with the fact that the compound that they're pushing to is occupied by Resurgence.
Yep. They're in a really, really bad position.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where taking fights early on is not going to do you any kind of benefit. And let's have just a quick look here, because this could get spicy very quickly, because Tamashi and friends, they're probably not going to survive. But KLQ, they are pushing in very aggressively. 3 members inside 1 vehicle. This is not advisable. Are they going to survive? Their vehicle is on fire. They have to bail out. They know it.
They got lucky. They got lucky.
They got very lucky that Groza was not extended. And if I was in their scenario, I'd actually blow up that van, use it for some cover. They are just inside the circle, center of the circle, sorry, and they are looking mightily fine in terms of positioning.
And Nani in bad position, is trying to go into the circle.
Yeah, again, coming in from this high ground, their new circle shown itself.
But TF, one of the players are trying to flank from the left.
Yeah, it looks like we do have. Oh my!
It's going really slow.
Yeah, so with the shots being fired, control walking, might have the here. Oh no, and that's actually going to be Kasase taken out. Master with the element of surprise, able to take one out, but no, getting knocked himself. But that distraction might just be what Inside Floyd needs to get inside the circle or get inside this compound here. Smoke's being thrown. Aeon Wolf, is he going to peek out here? Aeon Wolf trying to peek. Can Tamashi and friends survive? I think I spoke too soon earlier, saying that they were out of the game, as Insane Floyd cancels the res. So Insane Floyd trying to get this res off. Resurgence not wanting to get out, and it looks like Aerowolf actually taking out Boom from Jex.
But I think they don't know that they are just fighting with 2 people.
Yeah, I think Aerowolf, he's just tried to bounce the grenade off the frame, but that's not going to go outside the window, so that's going to be that balcony occupied, unable to be peeked from. Let's see if he can bounce one off. See a grenade thrown.
Because if they knew that there was only two people,
they would have pushed.
Yeah, they would have pushed.
Yeah, they don't know that though. Unfortunately, this is the great thing about first-person perspective. You don't know that information. You don't have that to your disposal without exposing yourself. And it looks like Resurgence don't want to give that position up. Mineski, Konga on the kill feed again. Let's see in with Mineski. They haven't, I believe, got any kills completed yet. They did get a knock there, as KLQ are in that position out in the field. Mineski in a good spot, but no kills. I believe they had 18 kills in the first game, so they are sitting pretty. They won the first game. 18 kills to their name.
And they're in a good position.
Exactly. They're in a great position for the next circle. But fights kicking off all around as Nani. It looks like Kental and Nani fighting very close. AZM, he's got extended mag Vector though, which could do a lot of work should they push into him.
And RSG just took out the other team.
Yeah, so that's going to be RSG securing that location for themselves. They've got a vehicle should they want to drive to the high ground up here. But this fight's kicking off all over the map. Still 28 players left alive in this small circle. Is going to be a recipe for a lot of action. As Kental G-Mace trying to find some kind of loot that he may be looking for a scope, maybe looking for some other kind of utilities that he needs.
Aerosmith trying to get into the circle.
Yeah, this is going to be a push here from Aerosmith. This FPP perspective is going to be able to cause an interesting situation where both teams have to peek over the top. The circle is slowly creeping in.
And you can see TNC is making use of this opportunity to try to get them. They're pushing up really aggressive.
Yeah, TNC, they know that both themselves and Aerowolf have to get in, but that's going to be a great headshot there from Drevice. Drevice with the knock on Kaziel. Do they have enough time to get him up? I don't know if they do. That's going to be Slasher taking out Kaziel. Grenade gets thrown towards Dada. Is that going to be a good nade? Nope, just a little bit short, as it looks like Dada trying to fire back towards Aerowolf, who have control of this high ground. Resurgence taking down Pain from Vikings. Slasher trying to land a shot just there, able to tag up PSG. But TNC flanking around, they want to keep as many members alive as possible. They don't want to get into a fight up on this high ground when they're at a disadvantage. Drevice and Slasher, though, they're getting very aggressive here. This could be either a great play or it could be very bad. They have 7 kills already. Aerowolf know they need some kills to catch up against Mineski, but here comes the push. Hipster tagged up. Team captain trying to get away. PSG also trying to make it away, but he gets knocked out. So now 2 members of TNC on their feet. There's PSG eliminated. Confirmed kill right there.
And on the west side, there's another fight.
It looks like Vikings and Resurgence. 3v3 scenario. Aero trying to throw some grenades.
Vikings were in a really bad position in between Mineski and RSG, but now they're in a good position.
Oh, but Poker, they don't know he's close, do they? There's the peak, and there's going to be Resurgence taking out Poker. So now, as the fight kicks off, trying to push from multiple angles. Aeon WCS last man standing for Resurgence.
It's a 1v1.
Yeah, can he get pushed? Can he push forward to get a knock here? Manages to stop the res from happening, starting his own res. As Vikings,
he's
Lindo.
So low, he's so low.
I think this could be the play though, because Resurgence, by stopping that res, they've been able to complete their res. I think they're going to push together. They're going to push together. There's the peak over the top, and this Vikings eliminated.
Amazing.
Great play from Resurgence. I can imagine the call there from Aeon was to because Kasake was just rezzed. He could have stood still. He could have gone for a heal.
Right.
But he said, instead, push it to me. Let's clear this out and let's take control of this area of the circle.
Are they going to res Shining Star?
I mean, they could get to him, but they're going to finish off their heal first. They have 28 seconds to play with, so they've got a lot of time to work with, so they're fine. Mineski pushing towards Sabatop 1. Sabatop 1 actually inside this small shack. I think they only have 1 member left on their feet. This could be Sabatop 1 out of the way, but unless Awang can get an amazing play here. Nope. There's going to be Sparkler pushing with that Groza. As mentioned previously, that Groza absolutely brutal close range, eliminating Saboteur 1 from the game.
Yeah, and the thing, they don't need to do that, but they want to be clear of their backs.
Yes, and they know the circle's closing.
Yep.
They finally got on the board in terms of kills. Mineski now in a great position to set themselves up to establish themselves in a firm command of first place if they do well in terms of positioning. But there you go. There's Puches being taken out by Yandao Games, Team 12, KLQ. These guys were in a terrible position earlier on regarding their location, but that's going to be KLQ also taking out David from Kental as Resurgence Shining Star gets taken out by Aerowolf Supernaya. Supernaya with that SKS doing a lot of work, trying to stop Resurgence from getting in. Resurgence still not inside the circle. And I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get Shining Star back up on his feet again. I think they're going to make the call. Shining Star says, go on without me. As Aeon WCS tries to get that heal off, manages to finish it and get moving towards the next circle. Good positioning here from Device. Device using that information from his teammate, letting him know that he can push forward, and now Aeon on his own, not inside the circle, pushing into 3 members, or 2 members at least, of Aerowolf.
Aeon trying to get to the right side.
Yeah, he knows that the angle's not safe, needs to push forward, actually running back towards the blue zone. This is the play that has to be made. He knows that they have 8 kills. He needs to get inside the circle, needs to get away from this open area. But he's unfortunately crashed inside the vehicle, unless he's deliberately using that. Nope. Needs to get that vehicle moving. Slight downhill to get going at least. And we'll make it into the circle. Let's see if Nemo pushes forward. No, they're focused on KLQ, so this is a beautiful opportunity. Great frags going out from all locations. But Aeon WCS able to survive here, at least for the meantime. There's the peak there. Device trying to take him out. And that's going to be Aeon WCS surviving for now, at least. Are they trying to blow up that vehicle? Oh, Slasher getting knocked out, though. A little bit of help as Aeon WCS doing some great work with that M4, but unfortunately unable to survive as Supernaya takes him out with that great headshot.
Yeah, Supernaya is one of the best players in Aerowolf.
I think you have to give credit there, though, for Resurgence. Able to survive that long is great. And taking 4th place is going to do wonders for their score. Especially with, I think they had 8 or 9 kills at the end of that game before, at the end of the round before they got eliminated. So,
3 teams.
The story is Aerowolf and Mineski still in the top 4, top 3 again. But this time, it's Aerowolf with the multiple kills.
And Click. Click is 3rd.
Click doing very well as well, with a member surviving. Mineski low on kills, but they have an opportunity here to take out Aerowolf early. This is Groza, fully automatic, pushing up on, looks like Aerowolf, and Aerowolf's going to lose a player straight away. That Groza doing so much work. As it looks like Click gets eliminated by Mineski, so we have 2 teams remaining. We're in a 3v2 scenario. Aerowolf.
I think they're trying to get the crate. No,
the crate's been looted, but that's going to be Aerowolf actually tagged up. So now 3v1 scenario. Sparkler with that Groza. Not going to be enough, though, as it looks like Aerowolf gets taken out, and that's going to be Mineski winning the game. Mineski 2 rounds in a row, but the thing you've got to be aware of now is Mineski, not as many kills as before, still an amazing amount of kills, ultimately 4, 5, 6 kills to their name, but Aerowolf, an astonishing, we're looking at 7, so 7, 6, 13, 14 kills to their name as well. So they're doing well